This isn't Riley's episode. This is Dwight's episode.
Oh my god, it is Dwight's episode.
Did we mention Riley in this at all?
Yeah, we need to let Riley say his piece.
Before that, though.
I don't fucking know. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 14 of For The Record. This episode, we got another great guest on the podcast. Elton tribute artist, Elvis tribute artist, Ultimate Champion. Former president.
You know, this is the thing that was throwing me off about filming these out of order is the episode that aired today. So episode 12. Multiple times it was said that our next guest would be former president Dwight Icenhower. But it's actually Riley Jenkins.
Yeah.
So I had to, cut that. But it's okay. It's no big deal. This is episode 14 with DWI, Dwight Eisenhower. Not E-I-S-E-N. I-C-E-N. This week on For The Record, what's first up on the skib?
Well, you know, like usual, now playing.
What's on your record player today?
What is... you know what? I always do it first. You go first this time.
On my record player this week, this is episode 14, so this is not the episode that aired. I don't even remember what I picked for Riley's episode. The episode that aired today, I picked I Need Your Love Tonight from 50 Million Elvis Fans. Riley's episode, no clue.
Did we film Riley's episode?
We did. Did we?
You need to check your computer. Huh?
This is what I mean. I don't remember what I picked, so...
Just pick a song. If it's the same one, it's the same one. Who cares?
I am going to go with... There was a song I heard on Elvis radio the other day that I really liked, and I can't remember what it was, so I must not have liked it that much. I want to go movies again, but I don't think I'm going to go movies again. I think this week I'm going to go, as we were talking to Trent about, I'm going to go 1969, and I'm going to pick... I'll pick Blue Suede. 1969, Blue Suede, the opening song. One of the best renditions, one of my favorite renditions of Blue Suede. 1969, Elvis at the International.
You know, the one from 56 or 57 where he's in Vegas and has the drum solo in the middle, I've always thought was kind of cool.
That one or the one that he did on the Hancock when he did the... That one's... I don't know. It's just different.
It's different. It's different than the cut, yeah, so it makes it pretty neat. Mine's All My Lovin' by the Beatles.
All My Lovin'.
That's a good song.
That's a good song.
That's a really good song.
I thought about putting that in the Valentine's Day show.
You should have. That's a good song.
That is a good song. I don't know why, but the Beatles have been crossing my path a lot recently.
So, same here.
I don't know if it's a
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
That's an okay song. You know, I've realized this, and I always gave Mason shit for it. I really like Paul McCartney and Wings. They have some great music.
Band on the Run is phenomenal.
Band on the Run is good, and Silly Love Songs is good. There's some really good Paul McCartney and Wings songs. One Hand Clapping, Blue Moon in Kentucky is really good. I don't know. The whole Paul McCartney and the Wings, they got some good stuff. Yes, they do.
Paul McCartney is he's very good at what he does.
He's a very strange man, but he's very good at what he does. That is true.
There's a comedian I watched that had Paul McCartney in his comedy club, and and he was in the comedy club, and he made a joke to him. Paul's like, "Let's go get margaritas!" Afterwards, I guess he really liked him. I always thought that was kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
Paul is a margarita drinker.
We should get him on the podcast someday.
Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
We'll see if we have that status before he croaks.
He's halfway there. Well, Paul McCartney's already dead. The Paul McCartney we have today is not the real Paul McCartney.
We're not getting into that conspiracy.
We should.
No, we're not.
It is so intriguing.
I don't know enough about it to talk about it.
I do. I actually have researched a lot with Mason, and I believe it's true.
I don't think it is.
I think it's true. They don't look the same. They don't sound the same. There's so many things that
Elvis didn't look or sound the same from 56 to 76.
Okay, but here's the thing. If you listen to the songs, if you listen to the music, if you listen to what they say about the songs, playing them in reverse, all that cool stuff that they talk about, it just lines up. Unless it's a marketing thing and that's a plan they had, but I doubt it. Paul, he died in a car crash. He was replaced by the one we have now.
If Paul McCartney died instead of a car crash, you would have heard. Everybody would have known.
That's
you can't
not
cover
true.
that up. Yes, it is.
Yes, you can.
How?
If
Explain it.
it's-
Go ahead and explain it to me. Because the
if it's-
paramedics that are on scene, not only does a car crash, draw attention, everybody's going to stop and look. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Everybody's going to know that. People are going to pass that story on. Nobody's actually verified the story.
They weren't super, super big, though, back in at that time.
Bullshit.
Was back when they were just starting.
No, it was the Abbey Road album is where he's got the barefoot. They had already been on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, that was after that. That whole Abbey Road thing, that was after that.
Yeah, they were already big. Everybody knew who Paul McCartney was.
But the crash happened before Abbey Road.
Yes, and they were big before that album.
Not necessarily.
Yes, they were. They were literally. They were. That was the early '60s. That was their peak as the Beatles.
Yeah, and this crash happened in the 50s.
Bullshit.
It did.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't. Well, you know what's crazy? You know, there's actually not like any description of Jesus. Like, if you read the Bible, there's no like actual description of him. So like the verdict of like how Jesus looks is from.
It's like Santa Claus.
It's like history. Yeah, it's almost. Dare I say? I don't want to say like made up, but like I mean, like someone has come up with a perception of it.
I don't know. It's so strange to me. Anyway, what's new? Touring shows, festivals, anything crazy?
I have absolutely no idea.
I have absolutely nothing.
There has not been an Elvis qualifier in like 2 months, 3 months, something like that. They don't kick on until. I think Branson's actually the next one. That's
in May?
Yeah.
No, Smoky Mountain.
Oh, Smoky's happening right now. They just finished the first round. I know Finley was there, Maxley was there. Gray, Tim Mack was there. They do not have anything about their top 10 yet. So as you're watching this, we don't know who the winner is. We'll know next week when we have another special guest on the podcast. But nothing really like terribly new for me. Anything new for you?
No. I have to, every time we talk about this, I have to go into my calendar, but nothing is really...
I have some doctor's appointments and dentist's appointments.
This is airing on the 31st. Good God. So, what you're watching right now was filmed 2 weeks prior. So, it is currently right now the 31st of January. So, we're headed into February.
It's not the 31st of January. It's the 17th, dude.
As you're watching this...
Oh!
It is currently
the 31st.
January 31st.
Yeah.
For us, it's only the 17th right now. So we're pretty much predicting. So between now and when this airs, I'm getting my haircut. We're going to lunch with Josiah. Actually, as you're watching this, it's Hell Week for the play. So I will be so busy that week. I'm kind of glad that we're ahead because that week's going to be hell on earth. Probably not because I'm not going to be there. Anyway, no big deal. It's fine. Nothing new. It's
Scroll
almost
down.
February. It's almost February and... It's almost February, and that's our that's the new stuff. So our conversation for this week, you know, I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't know what the conversation is for this week, but
we have nothing exciting. This is like kind of a bummer.
The most exciting thing we have coming up is February 18th, and that is when we get to go watch Epic.
Victor Trevino, February 5th. February 5th. Victor, Elton, and Elvis.
But Victor, we are coming to you. We're going to interview Victor backstage. I hope. We should really try to figure that out. That would be cool to be able to interview him in person. Like on a dark day, we can go to his little new theater crib.
Yo, Vicky.
I don't know. What I do know though is we need to let Riley Jenkins say his piece.
We done already. We like we're well past the closing.
We never even introduced the guy. It's just randomly going to cut to Riley at some point.
No, we introduced him before.
No, we didn't.
When we interviewed us, like, hey, we'd like to welcome on qualifying Elvis distributor Riley Jenkins. I'm just in different clothes.
So we're just going to be sitting here talking and then randomly cut. We would like to welcome...
Randomly cut. You should add a transition. Make it like a stone and it like turns really slow. And add like a sound effect.
This is why these get done late. Is because I'm watching these and Jeffrey's like, we should add a CGI Avatar style airbender space twister phone number, phenomenal. And I'm like, are you kidding? And I'm like, I just cut that shit out. I slice, cut it out.
Did you add the
and then
fried
Jeffrey's like,
one?
can we add? And then we change positions and we're like magically to a different part of the episode because I'm not leaving that shit in here.
Did you add the Phenomenal last time?
It wasn't in the episode 12. It was in Riley's.
Yeah, that was. You need to make sure that was fun. I guess there's always the basic questions. Obviously, how does somebody get started, whatnot. But I guess we'll jump right into it. For anybody who doesn't know, you do Elton and Elvis, right?
Yeah, for the past several years, I've been performing a tribute to Elton John as well as Elvis. So, Elvis I've been doing a long time. But yeah, Elton John, I've been getting busier and busier with doing my Elton tribute shows, and they've been a lot of fun. We actually just did a residency at a theater down here in Florida with a show called One Man, Two Legends, and that was a lot of fun. So I got to do both acts in the same show.
That's a good show idea. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That would be fun to see. That's a neat concept.
Yeah, is it? So is there any? What made you pick Elton and Elvis? Because it's they're doing it at New Theater this year, where we are in Kansas City. They're doing an Elvis and Elton show, and I know a lot of people talk about it, but obviously something had to click with Elton to want to do that on stage.
Back when I was in high school, I was in marching band. I was one like a band nerd. I loved music. I was in any type of music that the school offered. So 1 year during marching band, we did an Elton John and Billy Joel show, the music of Elton John and Billy Joel. And I just fell in love with the music, man. I love Elton's music, and I've seen Elton John in concert 116 times. So I'm a huge fan.
Whoa.
I'm a huge fan of his music, and it was just it was a natural decision for me to want to do a tribute to Elton John with Elvis.
116 times.
Yep.
Holy, does he know you?
No, I've never. One time I sat front row center at the concert, and I got to shake his hand, but I've never met him to introduce myself or anything like that. But yeah, just doing that, as a super fan was so cool to just get to shake his hand,
That's so awesome.
We were supposed to go see Elton John when he came to Kansas City, but tickets were so expensive that we just couldn't pull the trigger on it. But I really regret that. I wanted to see it so bad.
Yeah, I started listening to Elton John. I watched. It's actually kind of a funny story. Because you've done the Elvis and Elton show, and obviously I knew Elton John. I've seen Rocket Man, and I watched the Elvis and Elton show, and I was like, this music's not too bad, actually, because I never really listened to Elton John. I only listened to Elvis and Johnny Cash.
Sure.
And then I started listening to it, and I was like, hey, and I played the same song for 2 weeks straight. So
Which one was that? What's your favorite Elton song?
Bitch Is Back.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
It's a great one.
It's good.
Great
it's just it makes me want to dance. I like it.
I don't know. I do love me some Elton John. I think it's so great that this has turned to Elton John, and I love that. What is this song? I can't even... Crocodile Rock, I think, might be the one that I'm thinking of. It's so cliche, but it's so good.
It is a good song.
But also, as a drummer, I just like the beat of that song, so I don't know.
It's got a nostalgic beat to it.
It's so good.
That was a throwback to the early days of rock and roll. It mentions, rocking around the clock, all that stuff. So it's kind of a throwback song. Even though it was written in, 1973, it's still a throwback to the early music that influenced Elton, the Beach Boys, Elvis, all of that stuff that influenced him. So it's a cool song. I love that one.
It is a ton of fun.
That's so awesome.
All right, Jeff, let's move into some Elvis stuff. So obviously you started with Elvis first, and then you started to do Elton John. Which one? And it could be both for either one. Is there one that you find harder to do than the other, or specific eras? Because obviously you're more of the '70s guy. You do a lot of the '70s stuff, which is great. So do you find one harder, maybe even to get into character, than the other?
Well, Elton definitely. Vocally, it is the Elvis vocals came very natural to me. I don't really when I'm singing Elvis. It's more of my I'm a natural baritone like Elvis was, so it's easier for me to sing Elvis songs than it is Elton John, because Elton John had that high falsetto, totally different voice than Elvis Presley. So it's more of a, I have to focus when I'm doing Elton John versus Elvis. Elvis is I've done it so long, it's like breathing to me now. So it's definitely the Elton thing is tougher for me to get in the character and sing the parts and do the show.
I can see that.
Makes sense. I know when we were talking about when we were setting this up, you were at Graceland. You were doing Elton at Graceland, right? Elton and Elvis at
Yeah,
Graceland?
we did. We opened up the new TCB showroom at the guest house, and they hired us to come in and do 3 shows. And they basically let me put together any shows that I wanted to do, but one of them had to be Elvis. So we did basically in no particular eras. We did a show that was just focused on the music of Elvis. So we would do rockabilly, we would do 60s, we would do some movie cuts, and of course 70s. But the opening show was my full-blown tribute to Elton John, and that was a lot of fun. And then we did a variety show where I did Johnny Cash. I mean, not acting like the characters, but just singing the music. We did Johnny Cash, Ricky Nelson, Jerry Lee Lewis, Stray Cats. I mean, just a bunch of fun 50s, 60s, 70s, cool material.
So do you play lead piano when you do Elton John?
No, you know what? It takes me so much effort just to focus on the singing. I do play a little bit, but Elton John's a virtuoso in piano. I mean, he's played classical piano since he was like 5 years old. So I let my piano players handle all of that, and I just sing and dress funky.
Yeah, you get to do the fun part of the
fun
job.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to think too hard.
Going to, and I think this is so good because I think playing on both sides of the spectrum, Elvis and Elton, is kind of fun because all the guys we've done so far have been Elvis guys, except Saturday we're interviewing Trent, which is a drummer, so that's going to be a new thing. But doing your tribute to both, what are your favorite songs? So we asked Riley this last night, and it was a very winded answer. So feel free to answer however you want to. So, like for Elvis, for instance, what is your favorite song to perform from each era? So, like, obviously you don't do a ton of like the 50s and movie stuff, like, mainly. But if you had a favorite song from every era, what would each one be for Elvis?
50s, Money Honey, 60s, Are You Lonesome Tonight, and 70s, probably, I like those obscure 1970s songs. So maybe something like, probably like, some of those like Sad, Solitaire, songs like that.
Solitaire's good. That's a good song.
Those later, mid to late 70s songs. I really like how Elvis's voice was, I mean, Elvis always had a fantastic voice, but in that era, his voice did something different, and it sounded different than any other era before that. And he developed this big operatic sound when he sang. And so those are kind of my favorite. Solitaire, The Bitter They Are, Harder They Fall. A lot of those sad Jungle Room songs, recorded in the Jungle Room. I love those.
I love those.
Yeah, the Jungle Room sessions, that whole album and like that, all those recordings are really good.
I like Money Honey. It's on the debut album, and I don't know. I listened to it. I watched when he was on the Dorsey Brothers and he did it, and it was like one of the first clips I saw of him. I'm like, man, it's like this is good music. I like this. It's really good.
And I love singing all that stuff. When we do the European tours, I mean, it's kind of a mix of everything. A lot of the times we don't even do eras. I just come out in a cool outfit, like a modernized version of an Elvis outfit, and we'll sing. We may open with Money Honey one night, and then the very next song will be Way Down, and then we might do Viva Las Vegas. So the surprise element is there. You know what I mean? Like,
that's neat. It's
not one of your standard shows where, okay, here we go again. The guy's going to come out, and if he's a 50s guy, he's going to do Shake, Rattle, Roll. He's going to end with Hound Dog. If it's a 70s guy, he's going to do CC Rider and close with, Can't Help Falling in Love or whatever. There's none of that same cookie cutter thing. We mix it up night after night. So it's a lot of fun.
That's one of the things that I appreciate most about your work that I've noticed, like watching, is how different you make everything, for the reason that you really do go outside the box. And the '88 comeback special is one of my favorite things to rewatch, because it's so different, but it's so masterfully created that, like, the outfit. And that's one of the things that I think is so cool that you do, and I think you work with Dorian, I think might be his name, to create some of those
Dorian
things.
Alberti, he's amazing, man. The stuff that he comes up with. And
all that stuff, it's so cool seeing the difference. So I guess my question would be, when you're creating shows, what was like when you first started, what was your vision? Did you always intend to kind of go outside the box, or like when you started, was it to a T what Elvis would
I,
have.
I was very, when I first started, I was kind of like how everyone is at that point. You know, they just want to do Elvis, strictly Elvis. If Elvis didn't do it, I'm not going to wear it. You know, if he didn't wear that, I'm not going to wear that. If he didn't do his hair, I'm not going to do my hair that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was very to the book, you know, but now I've kind of, I think it all kind of shifted around 2014 when I got the call to go to Europe, and we started doing all these big tours of Europe. But our tour producer, Arjun Deelan, he said, but I want you to be Dwight Eisenhower. I don't want you to be Elvis. So that gave me the freedom to kind of go, okay, great. Now I can just focus on my favorite part of it, which is singing. That's my thing. I love to sing these songs. So I started kind of like transitioning into my own style. I had some suits made that were like kind of modern versions of maybe something Elvis would have worn had his style stayed similar, but just in modern times. You know what I mean? So the suits that I wore back then were like Elvis-esque, but they weren't replicas of things Elvis wore.
I think it's
so. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I think it's very interesting because somebody had I saw it online one time where it was like, you know, had Elvis not lived past 1967 or 1968, you would have never guessed what he wore in 1970. And so it's very interesting because I mean it's true, like you went from, you know, suits and, you know, the movie's outfits to, you know, a leather piece and a suit to a jumpsuit, this full body jumpsuit. Like who saw it coming? You know, it's just you're not gonna. It's just so interesting to see. There's a page on Instagram called Concept Suits, and they take like what he wore, maybe what he would have wore, and they like change colors or they just make something completely different and AI it on him. And it's just so interesting to see like what people come up with. I love them. It's great.
Yeah, I love seeing these new, you know, AI versions of what Elvis would wear today. And I actually get inspiration from some of them. I'm like, I want a suit like that. Like I saw this one where it's like a 2-piece suit with like this phoenix on the back and like gold flame or something. It looked really cool. But I get a lot of ideas from the AI creations. It's crazy what you can do now with AI, you know?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, some
we
of the
use
stuff
AI
is
for a lot of stuff.
I mean, yeah, because I think AI is a great thing if you use it for the right reasons.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, people can
Right.
the wrong
Exactly.
way,
That's the key word. If you right reasons. I mean, that's, you know.
Yeah. No, but it
gets a little crazy with some of the stuff they do, but yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You can't stop them.
Yeah. So I guess
exactly.
I want to jump back in more towards like the show side of it. So when you do an Elvis and Elton show, I mean, you're going on two different aspects, and the audience is getting two different people. So what do you, when you walk out in that first like 30 seconds, when you walk out as Elvis or you walk out as Elton, you know, what do you notice about the crowd? Is it the same energy both times that you come out?
It's a different kind of energy. With Elvis, anytime I do that particular show, Elvis and Elton in the same show, I always open with Elvis, because to do it the other way around, for one, I would probably have no voice left if I opened with Elton, you know, because I'm really pushing, so that would definitely blow my voice out. But yeah, it's a different reaction. I mean, Elvis, you can just see the memories flooding back. You can see like that they're in that zone. They're in that concert zone. So they're sitting and they're watching a theater type show. They're watching that. When Elvis or Elton comes on, it's more of a party atmosphere, you know, because he's got songs like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, The Bitch Is Back, you know, Crocodile Rock, Benny and the Jets, all these great up-tempo songs that are, you know, more, I mean, they're old songs, but I mean, they're more modern sounding than Elvis songs, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different, you know, the vibe is totally different with the audience.
Yeah. I know, Jeffrey, before we started, we weren't totally going to go into like the origin story, but it is something that I was curious about. Like, what struck your curiosity about Elvis? When did that all start? Like, did you do anything before Elvis, or was it always Elvis?
You know, I started when I was so young. So, I mean, as far back as I can ever remember, I mean, I've always loved Elvis. That was one of my first memories of anything, was seeing Elvis. And my mom played all the Elvis movies, like when I was a kid. So I just remember, you know, Fun in Acapulco and Blue Hawaii and all those 60s movies. And then Aloha from Hawaii, she would play that. And, So Elvis has always been there. But I mean, I started really, I mean, right out of school. I mean, I started in high school. I started doing shows in high school. So, I mean, I've performed as Elvis basically all of my young adult life through now. Next year will be 30 years for me doing Elvis.
That's
wow,
cool.
Yeah.
that is.
So what made you want to compete? You're an Ultimate Champion. You were in it before that, correct? Right?
Yeah.
What made you?
Yeah,
want
I
to
started
compete?
competing in the early 2000s with the old Doc Franklin's Images of the King, which was the original Ultimate Elvis contest. Before the Ultimate, that was the big contest, the Images of the King. And it was run by Doc Franklin, which Doc Franklin was Elvis's veterinarian. He took care of all the horses, all the animals that Elvis would have at Graceland. He would go to Graceland and doctor the animals. So he started this contest in the mid 80s, I believe, called Images of the King. And that was the pinnacle of Elvis tribute artist contests. So I started competing in that years and years ago, probably like in the year 2000 or so. And since then, clear up until I won the Ultimate, I had won 75 first place contests in that time frame. And then when I won the Ultimate, that was my fifth and last world championship, because I don't compete anymore, after that one.
That's a 75?
Yeah, 75.
Holy
man.
cow! That's so awesome.
Yeah.
What was the song what was your last song that you won with?
Unchained Melody.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was my winning song. And it's hard when you're in the Ultimate. You make the top 5. You have to tell them what song you want to do like that quick, because it's a quick turnaround. You got to go right back out and do your final song. And I looked and who else was competing with me? Vic Trevino, Ben Thompson, Travis Powell, and I believe Pat Dunn, I think, was the top 5 with me, if I remember right. And I knew Vic Trevino, he's been my friend for a long time. I knew he was going to do 50s. I knew Ben Thompson was going to get up there and shake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other 2 guys, like Pat's a great singer, and Travis Powell. So I knew what each one of these guys did. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do what I do, and I'm just going to go out there and sing, man. And I was like, Unchained Melody, that's the song I have to do. So, and I'm glad I did. That was a big one.
That's awesome.
That's a good song.
It is. It's a great
A
song.
really good way to.
Were you in the sundial, or were you in a different suit?
No, I had worn all of my suits. I mean, because I was in all the different rounds of it. So the only thing I had left that was clean was the Comet. So I was like, here we go. I'll throw the Comet on. I come out there and yeah.
I've always wondered that. Like I've been thinking about that sometimes. I'm like, what if somebody qualifies and they want to do the 70s, but they only own like 2 suits? You use 2 suits in the first round. Yeah. I mean, you make the next round, you're scrubbing your suit that night.
How many did Jimmy Holmes say he brought? He brought like some god on the
8, 12, something
12
like that.
or something like that. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine lugging all that around.
And some guys, like my mentality of the Ultimate is, when you go out there for that first, like a lot of guys go, well, I'm going to save my most elaborate, beautiful suit for the finals. But like, if you don't give it all you got in that very first time that you walk out there, you might not make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my theory is you hit them with everything you got that first time you walk out onto the stage in the contest, because you got to grab their attention and give the best look that you have, the best suit you have. You got to knock it out of the park that first time. So if you make it to the finals, you're already there. Now you can wear whatever you want because you've already proven. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way.
That's a really good philosophy to have. It's neat. I like seeing the finals a lot when a lot of guys come out and they got that's when they start wearing the Aloha, the sundial, the really like notorious suits. Because we were just this last Elvis week when we got to meet you. That was our first Elvis week, and it was an experience getting to see all these Elvis guys are just walking around. Like you see them like I see them on YouTube all the time, and you're just in the lobby talking to everybody. Like it's kind of unreal to see. So, but it's It's just kind of unreal. Like you watch these guys walk around the guest house, and the next day they're on stage competing for the title, and it's such a cool experience to watch.
One of the most nerve-wracking experiences of my life, I feel like.
Oh god, yeah, it was.
That was sitting there and watching that was so that was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say I get more nervous now sitting in the audience as a champion. I get more nervous now watching my friends up there competing than I did when I was in the contest myself. I don't know. It's when they're playing that drum roll and everyone's standing there, all the Elvis tribute artists are standing there. It's like I remember what I felt, like my heart just pounding out of my chest, But I get more nervous now watching the contest.
Yeah, I remember when we were watching it, and they had the 5 guys. So like Aaron Walker opened it, and I was like, "Wow, like that was really good." And then Ted Torres came out. I was like, "Man, they were both really good." And then Moses came out, and Jimmy came out, Luz came out. And by the end of it, I was like, I don't even know at this point. Somebody's gonna win, and I don't know who it is, because it's just you're just watching it all in every single.
That's
person.
A good contest. Yeah. That's a good, because you want to see one great guy after another. I mean, it's even though they're competing, you are entertaining this huge audience. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm glad that contest makes these guys go out and go, okay, let's just give them a great show and focus on doing a really good show for these 2,000 people that are here.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool to watch. There's so many people. I love the audience there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so loud. I love the experience. So I guess this is a question. We just interviewed Riley Jenkins yesterday, and we got to ask him about this. But obviously, with you doing Elton, you probably have a better story than this. But what is like the weirdest fan interaction that you had, whether you're on stage or in a meet and greet line? Has anybody, because it's different if you're doing Elton and Elvis. I mean, I don't really know what happens at an Elton concert, So
well, I can tell you for sure the Elvis story. I was in my hometown in Ohio, where I was born and raised in a little town called Pomeroy, Ohio. And this is back when I lived there years and years and years ago. I mean, I've been in Florida now for over 20 years, but this is before I moved here. And we were doing a Christmas parade. So it was me and my band on this big float, and we were singing Blue Christmas on this float, and we were driving down Main Street. And I announced before the thing, as we were going, we had an announcement that said, do not approach the float, But I was handing out scarves from the float, but I was throwing them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they didn't have to come close to the float. So I was like winging them, man. I was throwing them far, because those scarves, if you get a good material, they got a lot of, good fling action. They'll fling out there. So no one was approaching the float. Everyone was being very respectful of that. And, because we didn't want to hit anybody, you know what I mean? So here I am singing Blue Christmas, and this lady walks right up to the thing and grabs my scarf like this, pulling it. And it's on my head, And finally I'm singing, I'm still singing, I'll have a blue, and I feel the float that we're on go boom, like this, we ran over her. The lady fell because she was holding on to my scarf. She falls down, and we literally run over her legs. That's the craziest thing that's ever happened. And I saw this lady 2 days later, and she's in a cast, but she's got my scarf around. It was this was a little too much for a piece of material from a guy that's not even the real Elvis. You know what I mean?
That's definitely pretty
I
crazy.
hope it was worth it. We're
going to have to ask every guy that, because all these different answers are probably going to be so crazy.
Riley told us yesterday, he said the oddest thing that he had happened was he had a lady ask him to shimmy in a meet and greet line. She didn't want it. She just wanted him to shimmy. That was it. A few seconds. Yeah. Shimmy. Okay. And she left.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I guess because at the end of the day, you are an entertainer. You're a world-class entertainer. You travel, you go to Europe. You're all over the States. A lot of people know your name. You're an entertainer, a great entertainer. What are some responsibilities that come with that? Being a world-class entertainer.
Well, you just treat everybody with respect. I mean, you basically, I mean, how did Elvis treat people? I mean, Elvis the most common story I hear from all these people that I work with that worked with Elvis, was friends with Elvis, the most common story that they all tell, the number one thing, the first thing they say is how nice he was, how polite he was to people, how much respect he showed to his fans and stuff. And I think that's, that was part of Elvis's appeal, aside from the obvious, the great voice and the best looking guy to probably ever exist. And you know what I mean? So there's all of that stuff. But I mean, if Elvis, had all that, but then turned around and was arrogant, or he didn't take time to sign an autograph, or he wouldn't take a picture, then he probably wouldn't have had the appeal worldwide that he had, So I always try to remember that.
That makes a lot of sense. I think it's some of my favorite stories hearing, because, you come down to the gates of Graceland and he talked to everybody. So, the very first time we ever went, and it's so odd, because when you go to Graceland, it's like you can, when you're touring the house, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like he's supposed to be gone. Like, it feels like he's just waiting for you, upstairs. So, we just went for the first time I ever went was in November of 24. And we were, standing at the gates, and I was almost half expecting him just to walk down and start talking to everybody. He's not there, but it just kind of feels like it. He's just he's just a genuine guy,
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, how many celebrities can you think of today that would come down from their house and stand there and talk to masses of people for hours,
And Taylor Swift that walk into the Chiefs games. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to hear the stories about it.
And people were so different back then too. It wasn't all about the protection level and everything. You didn't have to worry about some of the stuff that we have to worry about today. You could just go down there and greet those people and not have to have in the back of your head that something could happen or whatever. But I don't know. He was a man of the people.
Yeah. So when this
I think things kind of, I think had Elvis lived through the time of the John Lennon murder, I think maybe that would have changed. I think maybe he would have taken more precautions around people,
Yeah.
Yeah, because up until that point, celebrities, I think, had more, they were more apt to be around. You would see, and God bless him, but I mean, that's probably, John Lennon may still be here had he not been so open to be around the fans and stuff like that. There was all this footage of John Lennon just walking around New York City. I mean, just saying hello to people, just being a nice guy. And then we all know what happened to John Lennon in 1980. So maybe Elvis would have changed had he lived, through that.
And I mean, and we'll never know. It's
right. Or who knows? I mean, Elvis, he may have just kept being Elvis.
Yeah, I mean. Who really knows?
That is possible. So, just another fun random question. You're a 70s guy. What is your go-to or your favorite jumpsuit to wear on stage?
It changes from time to time, but I always go back to the Crystal Flower. I mean, that suit.
It's a gorgeous
That suit is just, when I see that in the showcase at Graceland, it's that suit just looks like diamonds, it just glitters and shines so much. But, also I think of suits like how good Elvis looked in them. So I never ever thought that I would like the, what's the name of that suit? The Blue Rainbow, the one with
I think it's the waterfall.
Yeah, and I have that suit, but I never thought I would like that suit because all of the pictures that you see of Elvis in that suit, his sideburns are down to here. His hair is long, just shaggy. He doesn't look like that polished Elvis with the beautiful hair. He looks not put together in that suit. So I never really paid much attention to that suit, but seeing it in person, I was like, oh my God, I got to get that suit. So I bought it now, so I have that suit. But yeah, I would say probably the Crystal Flower, the Blue Rainbow, the Raindrop suit. I love
the Raindrop suit.
You like that one? Yeah, it's
I love that suit.
Yeah, the Crystal Flower. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is.
That is a cool suit.
Yeah. So if you could travel, if you can go back, so obviously you've seen Elton John almost 120 times. Did you ever get to see Elvis? I'm gonna assume.
No, I was born 4 years after he passed. So
So
yeah.
if you can go back in time, you can watch any live performance, right? You could watch him
Madison
as
Square
someone-
Garden.
Madison Square
Madison
Garden.
Square
He knew
Garden.
exactly where he was going with it. Yeah, evening or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of me and my wife's favorite things to do on a road trip is like to play that album and just crank it. And that just through a car sound system, when that 2001 is playing and you can hear the second Elvis walks out, I've never heard anything like that in my life. It's just like a tidal wave of sound.
Yeah.
And, as exciting as that is through a car stereo system, I can't imagine being in that room, just the electricity that was there that night, So definitely Madison Square Garden for sure.
I love that album. I would argue to say that I think it's one of his best concerts he ever did. I would make that
That album and the Elvis on Stage album, 1970, is one of my favorite. I mean, to me, that album, and it is just so raw rock and roll. It's the most rock and roll, actual rock and roll that Elvis ever sounded in the 70s. And that version of Proud Mary on that record, the one is just
it doesn't have a roll in it. So it's cool.
Yeah, because it wasn't Ronnie Tutt playing. It was a guy named Bob Lanning. And so Bob Lanning was Elvis's drummer in 1970, and he's the drummer on every song on the On Stage album. So the version that we know that went to number one of The Wonder of You, that was Bob Lanning on the drums. So, that's why it had that different sound. That's why he's more of a rock and roll style drummer, like an in the pocket rock and roll style drummer. And not at all obviously not to take anything away from Ronnie Tutt. He was one of the finest drummers that ever lived. But a lot of people don't know that the drummer on that album was a 21-year-old guy named Bob Lanning. Wow. And and the cool thing is since 2015, Bob Lanning's been our drummer for our European tour.
Really?
He travels with us. Yeah, and he's the drummer with us, and he still plays all those songs like the record.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is neat. So going back to that, Elvis had a ton of people with him. So have you ever have the privilege to be on stage with any of his original members, or get to work with, or whatever?
Yep, I've sang with I've done many shows. Of course, he passed away, but with DJ Fontana, Elvis's original drummer. I've done shows with the Jordanaires, the Stamps Quartet, Sweet Inspirations, Jim Murray of the Imperials Quartet, Duke Bardwell, Elvis's bass player, 1974, 1975. All of these guys are most of those guys that I mentioned have been on the European tour with us. So yeah, every year in April and November, I perform with the guys that worked with Elvis. So
that's so cool. When you did the Stamps, oh man, I think J.D. Sumner. When did he pass away?
In the 90s.
Yeah, so you never sang with J.D.
No, I did not. J.D. When I was there, when I played with the Stamps, it was Ed Enoch, the blonde-haired guy you see in Elvis on tour, and so he was there. Bill Bays, the high voice singer that sings "Sweet Sweet Spirit." I'm trying to think who else, but there was like three of the original
did you sing
Stamps
with,
Quartet members.
Larry Gatlin?
I've never sang with Larry Gatlin. No, I've never. He was on every year. I perform on a cruise called the Country Music Cruise, and he's been on there with us. But I've never sang with him.
That's cool. Well, I mean, it's cool to get to play with the guys. We saw Larry
absolutely.
was at Elvis Week, and he sang, and he was like a foot away from the mic, and would just rumble, and it would hit the PA system, and it would just rumble the whole place. It was crazy. I can only imagine because they said that JD was deeper than him. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what?
Wait, are you talking about Larry Gatlin or Larry Strickland?
We saw both. Larry Gatlin.
Okay, so Larry Gatlin.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Larry Strickland.
Larry
I'm sorry,
Strickland.
wrong guy.
Yeah. Larry Strickland's the bass singer that worked with Elvis.
Yeah.
Larry
Yeah.
Gatlin is a country music singer that wrote "Help Me," the Elvis gospel song.
I got my Larry's mixed
And he
up.
wrote a couple other songs that Elvis sang.
At first, I didn't question it because we did see Larry Gatlin with Dean at the Unplugged show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I forgot that Larry sang at the gospel show.
Strickland. Yeah, if you worked with Larry Strickland, that's what I meant to ask.
Yeah, I have.
That's cool.
We did a show, myself and Jay Dupuis, one of my best friends in the world. We did a show at a casino resort out in, I think it was Yuma, Arizona. And Joe Gershio was there. He was the conductor. We had a whole orchestra. So we had Elvis's original conductor. We had Larry Strickland on the bass singing. We had Bill Bays, the high voice singer of the Stamps Quartet. Who else did we have? We had a bunch of people that worked with Elvis was there that night and sang with us the whole concert.
That's so cool.
That was a highlight, definitely a highlight.
That's so neat.
It's always neat to be able to work with people like that. I
It
mean,
is.
we've gotten close, but not that close.
Yeah. I've shaken hands with Jerry,
Jerry? Larry Strickland?
no, not Larry. It wasn't Larry, it was Jerry.
Jerry Chef?
Chef, yes. I'm getting all my names mixed up. There's too many of the same names going on right now.
Jerry and Larry's very different.
No, Jerry Chef and it's Jerry Schiff. Right? Or
No.
oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
I'm blanking. Jerry Chef.
Jerry Chef was Elvis's bass
the bass
player.
player, and then his
So-
friend was Jerry
Schilling.
Schilling.
There
yes,
you go.
I'm all over the place. I know my older sister, I swear.
Jerry Schilling we have met, yes.
Yeah.
I thought you said we met Jerry Chef, and I was like, we have
No, we've never met
Jerry
Jerry Chef. Somebody told us one time, this is a funny story, I don't remember who it was, but they met Jerry Chef, but he's like deaf in his left ear from being next to Ronnie's kit for so long. And I guess he was like, Jerry! And he thought he was ignoring him, but he was just deaf in the ear and he couldn't hear him.
Yeah, he can't hardly hear at all anymore.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's going to be...
That's going to be me in 20 years.
I mean, you're halfway there.
Play my music too loud. But I enjoy it all at the same time.
Yeah.
So what's your next big fun venture? Where is your shows taking you next? You going on tour?
Right now the main thing we're focused on is our third annual Dwight Icenhower's VIP weekend here in my hometown of Winter Haven, Florida. And so that's where all of our energy is focused right now, is putting this on and selling tickets to this and really making it a fun event for everybody. So that's our next big project.
I just saw the advertisement for that today.
Really?
I did. It was on Facebook, and I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
I like this. I think Austin Irby does a VIP weekend or a getaway weekend or something like that.
David
I like
Lee
those.
does one.
Who?
David Lee.
Oh, yeah. Those are cool. I've always thought those are neat. Like, what is it? Austin Irby Fan Retreat. That's what his was called.
And then David
Fan
Lee
Retreat,
does the
yeah.
clam bake.
Yep. Those are always really fun. I like those. Those are fun weekends. So
And we've never been.
we need to go. What are we waiting on?
Yeah.
All right. This is a fun little question. So, Elvis and Elton, they're gonna flip a set list for the night. Who's making it out alive?
So you mean Elton is going to sing Elvis songs and Elvis is going to sing Elton songs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I could hear Elvis singing Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. I could hear him doing that. I could hear him doing probably maybe Saturday Night's All Right. Some of the more rockin' stuff, he'd probably do those in the style of like Promised Land or something like that, change up the music a little bit. Elton, I don't know, probably Elton, the music that got Elton excited and made him want to be a performer was the original Elvis record, 1956, with Heartbreak Hotel. That was what made Elton John want to sing rock and roll. So I would think that maybe Elton would give it a try to do Heartbreak Hotel or one of those early classics.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see.
That would be like if they did a role reversal show.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna flip. We're gonna do this.
It'd be kind of cool.
So one of the conversations, I don't want to go on this one forever, but we did. The episode coming out on Saturday, we had a really deep discussion about how if Elvis was never a thing, would Michael Jackson have been
as prominent
or as big as he
Yeah.
was. So what is your take on that? Do you think that we would have had the same MJ that we have now, or that we had, but without Elvis?
You know, it's hard to say because Elvis, you know, his influence was so rooted in everyone that came after. I mean, even if these celebrities or entertainers don't list Elvis as one of their main influences, you can find Elvis in everybody. I mean, whether it be their style, their hairstyle, the way they, you know, like you want to talk about hip hop or whatever, like Elvis was the original hip hop, singing about in the ghetto, having an entourage, wearing the bling, carrying a cane. It's like, that's hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like Elvis not only influenced rock and roll or rockabilly, whatever it was, country. I mean, he influenced all of that. So, I mean, I would almost say no. Like, I don't think Michael Jackson would have been, because he drew inspiration from Elvis. So that would have had to change some aspect of his show or his style, the way he dressed. Think about it. Michael Jackson wore a full-blown gold lame suit.
Yeah,
you know,
did.
in one of his concerts.
With that,
it's like he had the pants, the jacket, everything. It was an exact replica of gold lame Elvis suit. So it's like, even if it's style or the way you do a show or the way Elvis is in everybody. I mean, there's a little bit of Elvis in any entertainer that came after him. You can find a little Elvis in anybody, really.
That's what I was telling him. I was like, you know, I think you would have had Michael Jackson, you would have had Prince, but you just wouldn't have had the same. They wouldn't be on the level that they were, and that's kind of where we were different on the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I didn't think that he wouldn't be, but it was kind of like, as you said, we would have had him, but in a different form. Like, I don't at all think that Michael Jackson would have not have been as popular, maybe not into the extent or whatever he is now or what he is for, but I don't know, like, that's just something that intrigues me. Like, you just see the influence from, I don't know, people say all the time, it's like, Elvis has, I mean, he's literally he's in everything. Like, there's something of Elvis in everything, and you stop and think, it's like, one man literally changed the course of the world forever.
Yeah. I mean, he had a song hit the top 100 chart 2 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but there was something that...
It was a little less, I'm pretty sure. Some new mix or...
The remix.
Was it...
the remix, Little Less Conversation, and Rubberneckin'. I mean, you know, 50 years or whatever after it was recorded becomes a #1 record again. You know, it's like, there's nobody that can do that.
Mm-mm. And then on top, the release of the Elvis movie, and it's kind of like, people, we've actually talked to a few guys, you know, growing up, like, in the, you know, mid-2000s, like, being Elvis, you know, they were going through school, like Cody or Riley River, you know, it wasn't really cool. You know, doing Elvis wasn't a cool thing. And now you're like, even whenever we were inside high school, like, if you listen to Elvis, they're like, you listen to, like, who? But now it's like, you know, the release of the Elvis movie, and it's like, everybody's listening to it again.
Yeah, so, and that's exactly, like, as an Elvis fan first, and then also as a tribute artist, like, that's what we were all hoping this Elvis movie would do, the Baz Luhrmann movie. We were hoping that young people would give it a chance and go see it and then become Elvis fans. And, I mean, obviously, that's what happened, because you go to Graceland now during Elvis week or the birthday week, whatever, and that lobby of the hotel is full of young people.
Yeah, it is.
And so there was a huge upswing of young people that, you know, that movie gave Elvis a body. You know what I mean? It gave, because we can't see Elvis anymore in the flesh. So that Austin Butler captured that, and then the movie was so exciting that it made young people go, oh man, we want to go home now and research the real Elvis. You know what I mean? Because the music speaks for itself, but to see his life put together in an artistic vision like that movie did and made it exciting. I mean, and I'm so excited for this epic, the new epic movie.
Cannot wait to watch it. I've been looking forward to it. I know they showed that they did an early premiering at birthday week, and I was, you know, I want to see it in theaters. I want to see it here. We're so far away from Memphis, But man,
Yeah.
everybody's already raving about it. They're saying it's phenomenal. I mean, lost footage.
Yeah.
They have the Pearl Harbor benefit concert.
Did you watch the trailer yet?
Yes, I've seen the trailer. Play the hell out of it, man.
No, the one he just released like 2 days ago, the 2-minute long trailer.
Yeah, that's the one I just watched.
Dude, the way they colorized that footage and put it together,
It's gonna be so good.
It's amazing, man. And the sound quality that it's going to be in an IMAX theater and the visual is going to be like something we've never seen before.
Unreal.
February 18th, it'll be here soon.
I watched Oppenheimer in IMAX, and that was...
Yeah.
Whew.
I already got my tickets. We already went in and like pre-ordered all of our tickets, so
It's
gonna be fun, man. I can't wait.
I can't wait for that. I love the when they dig up all that footage. It's like, wow, like this is. I know I love finding bootleg footage from just like random shows. Like you got this bootleg footage from like '75 and like Ohio or something. It's like, whoa, there he is, you know?
Yeah, I just saw something today of Elvis it's like 75 or 76. And he's singing "Such a Night." It's like, that's crazy. You know, I didn't even know that existed. But they said that what's in the epic movie, the movie's like an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. And about 45 minutes of it is the never before seen footage. But they said the amount of never before seen footage that they actually found was hundreds of hours worth. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's another like, maybe when it's released, like bonus footage or something, hopefully. Or, I mean, several hundred hours of never before seen footage. They can make another, 5 movies from that,
That'd be unreal.
Hopefully.
I can just imagine, because they recorded so much in Vegas. I just hope somewhere in there, because there's footage of it. Madison Square Garden does have footage. It was not professionally recorded, but there is a whole bunch of footage from the concerts. There's some stuff from '74. I know there's a show, like he opened a show with Big Boss Man, just to be different.
Yeah.
And there's footage of it, but there's like an FTD release and there's only some footage and it looks like bootleg footage. And it's like
so it's grainy and they're just kind of matching up the audio to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was a news crew that filmed Madison Square Garden. That's why we have that decent footage of that. But yeah, I'm hoping that at some point there's Madison Square Garden like professional footage of that.
I hope there's more 50 stuff. I know like they have the Pearl Harbor benefit concert. I was talking to Hugo in Indiana, and there's 2 more shows he did afterwards, which I can't think of off the top of my head. But like there's barely any footage of the '61 concert, and there's another couple. Like there's just I hope that they just I want it all. I like to see it all. It's so cool to watch.
I think we're gonna see stuff like more interview stuff that we've never seen, like maybe like from the Army, stuff like that. I think there's gonna be, some stuff we've never seen there, and then of course all of the "That's the Way It Is" footage and Elvis tour. It's all there.
I'm excited for the on tour footage. That's my era. I love '72.
I think the whole thing's gonna be so good.
It's
exciting.
It is. It's awesome. It's new. It's different. And who would think? The guy's he's 49 years later, and they're still finding footage of him and releasing new footage of him every day. I mean,
makes you wonder what else is out there. Like, who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows what else is out there?
Yeah, it's great. Well, Dwight, we really want to thank you for coming on. It's been awesome getting to talk to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah. Anytime.
It has been, it's been a privilege to be able to talk. Hopefully we can interview all of the Ultimates over time. It's a lot. There's a lot of them.
Do you, okay, your name's the same as the president's. Gotta ask.
No, it's not. The last name is different. It's spelled different.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's spelled differently.
Oh.
Yeah.
His starts with
It sounds the same, yeah. When you're just saying it, it sounds the same, but it's actually pronounced Eisenhower instead of Eisenhower, yeah.
There's a C instead of the S.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Every time
my name is spelled Icenhower. The president is EIS.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little different.
That's a cool name. I was just going to say, I think it's cool. Like,
Yeah, and it's my real name. Like, people think I made it up for a stage name, but that's my real name, so, yeah.
That's neat.
I guess the real question is, when do we get the Icenhour back to YouTube so we can all enjoy...
You know what? We were actually talking about that a few days ago, about like bringing back a surprise episode and just making a new, we started doing that during COVID just to get us, to just get to sing to people. We were like, well, let's do a a home show, you know, and we started getting a lot of views and people were loving it. So we did, I think, a total of 28 episodes. We did 28 shows.
Wow. I can't believe it's been that many years ago. I feel like that just happened. Yeah, I would watch those all the time because Dean and Cody would do live streams from Branson. And then you started doing the show, and I was like, this is great. Like, who knew we needed this? But they were so fun.
I think it's great, especially after COVID.
we had a ball making them, too.
Yeah. I think it's great, especially after COVID. It's kind of like resurge and people getting out and watching shows. You know, everybody was cooped up. They missed it. Everybody was watching the live streams and whatnot. Now everybody's like, well, I'm going to go. I'm going in person. You know, I think it's great.
Exactly.
It's great.
Entertainment is live and well.
It is.
Live entertainment, anyway.
It is.
There you go. That's the name of the game, man. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, really. And anytime you want to do a part 2, all you got to do is message me, man. We'll do it.
Perfect.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
This has been fun.
Maybe we can do like a live interview from Elvis Week if you guys come.
We've been talking about doing in-person interviews, and because like Victor Trevino's coming to Kansas City, and you know we want to interview him, especially when we get to Elvis Week. Like it'd be awesome just to interview just like a few questions, you know.
Yeah,
just like
sure.
right there in the lobby. It'd be awesome. There's so many guys. You turn a corner and there's Lewis Brown. You turn around, Jimmy Holmes is standing behind you, and you know it's great. It's awesome. So, but yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, Dwight.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait, hold on. Last thing. Website, social medias. Where can they find you?
Yes. Okay, Facebook, Dwight Icenhower on stage, or Dwight Eisenhower's official fan club, or on Instagram, it's Dwight Icenhower ETA.
Sweet.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Dwight. It's been an honor, man.
Thank you all so much. Take care.
Why do you always lean forward?
I gotta lock in.
I hate that.
I don't give a shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome on.
We already introduced him. It's in the interview.
No, it's not.
It is. We literally do it first thing.
It's so like unauthentic. We would like to welcome on Elvis tribute artist Dwight Icenhower.
He's a champion.
All right, Dwight, get ready. You ready to roll? And then we move positions, then magically. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's me, Jib and Jer, with D.W. Eisenhower. Dwight, what's up? Anyway, we would like to thank you for watching episode 14 of For The Record, featuring Mr. Dwight Icenhower, former president, Elvis tribute artist, Elton John tribute artist, mastermind, 88 comeback special, everything in between, if I'm honest. Thanks for watching, everybody. I need this Chick-fil-A.
You should close out the fucking video. This is getting out of hand.
I just tried.
Well,
I literally was like, thank you for watching. And
you did that one time. You had a whole episode where you're like, you want to buy a pill container on Amazon?
Yeah, and we were filming. It was a good episode.
Close it out. Do it again. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm about to eat this Chick-fil-A. I literally went to Chick-fil-A the other day and I almost said that. I was like, I'm about to eat this Chick-fil-A. And then the guy was like, you need to get out of my drive-thru. Like,
understandable.
I'm going to get out of your way.
Okay, what episode is this?
Episode 14.
We'd like to thank you guys for watching episode number 14 of For The Record. We want to thank Mr. Dwight Eisenhower. Is it Eisenhower or Eisenhower? Okay, we'd like to thank you guys for watching episode number 14 of For The Record. We'd like to thank Dwight Eisenhower for coming on and interviewing with us today. It was really awesome. It was fun. Check out his socials and all of his stuff in the description below.
And of course, don't forget, findthegood.com, 10% off. Use the code right here. Comfort.com, use the code in the description. We're in chair debt.
It's getting worse and worse every day.
So please use those links so I make some money so I can pay off the chair debt. I'm about to eat this Chick-fil-A.
I'm about to eat this Chick-fil-A. Okay, like I said, we'd like to thank you guys. Check out all of our socials in the description, websites, everything you guys need to see. You have a link tree, right?
I do. I have a link tree.
But click on his link tree. Click on my individual links because I don't know how to make one of those. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, send us hate mail, love mail, whatever you think. We should get a P.O. box.
I thought about it, but I'm like, who's going to actually send
You know how funny that would be? Guys, we got one piece of fan mail, and it's just like a 12-inch. But yeah, check out the... Peace out.